Lesson 2, frequency tables, line plots, and histograms. So we can display data in these types of ways. A frequency table lists each data item with the number of times it occurs. A line plot displays data with an X marks above the number line. It doesn't necessarily have to be an X. You might see it as dots. You might see it as rectangles. But oftentimes we like to use X. And then a histogram shows the frequencies of data items. So the big difference between a histogram, again, this is data items, which basically means numbers. A histogram uses numbers, whereas a bar graph uses categories. Okay, so that's kind of the difference. Histogram will have like numbers or ranges of numbers, whereas bar graphs will have like words of different categories. So how we use a frequency table is we start by tallying up each set of data. So I know that I have the numbers 10 through 15. So every time I see a number, I'm going to make a tally. Oops, wrong spot. So far I've hit everyone once. Now I get my second 13, my second 10, 11, 11, 12, 10, 10, and 15. And then we're going to go ahead and count them all up. We're going to say I have 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 2. Let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I should have 14, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. Perfect. So this is how we display data on a frequency table, is we have our items right here, tallies, and then the frequency is why it gets its name, how many times that number occurs. So if we take that data, double check that we got the exact same, and we're going to create a line plot using our data. So you can see here that we have our items or our numbers listed down below. Goes from 10 to 15. So I know that I have 4 number 10s. So that means that I am going to put 4 X's and I'm going to stack them on top of each other. That means that 10 occurred 4 times. 11 occurred 3 times. 12 occurred twice. Same as 13. 14 was only 1 time. And then 15 was 2. So you can see this is another way, again, a visual representation. It's another way to look at the data. And sometimes this can be a really helpful way to analyze data is by creating this type of visual. And the histogram, okay? So again, like I was saying, histogram uses like numbers or ranges of numbers. So we have that right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to say that I have 4 10s. I'm not going to color it in, but that's one way to show that. I have 3 11s. Histograms are going to be touching each other because, again, you either have consecutive numbers or they're going to be ranges of numbers that end up being the same. 13 is also 2, so that's going to be at the same height. 14 is just 1. And it looks like we ran out of room for 15, but I'm going to add it in right here and put in 2. So it's back to how tall these other ones were. So that would be a histogram. And again, it should look in the shape. It should look very, very similar to your line graph. And I can see that as I kind of trace it. That's roughly the same shape.